Hey everybody, and welcome back to Jaraci Cup 10. Welcome to the first quarterfinals match that we are going to cast here, though it is in fact quarterfinals D. It's between MarchWaden and Moose. Soban versus Gonef. Excited to see what will happen here. We have our info.txt, so let's just go ahead and read this. But MarchWaden is playing the Gonef forces this time. I believe he was the lower seed here because, yeah, he was in Group A. So Moose picks Soban first, and MarchWaden picks Gonef next. If you recall, earlier today we played some... we watched some games of MarchWaden and Moose that they just played as sort of a friendly match. And he was playing Soban at that point, but he's gone back to his main faction here, playing Gonef. And Moose has that faction picked first, so MarchWaden knows he's avoiding the mirror matchup this way. He bans Kartoba. And I think that makes a lot of sense. You don't really want to be playing Kartoba against Soban because that late game carrier condition is quite scary. Not to say you can't win on it, but, you know. And Moose, in a similar way, going to ban the Shallows. He perceives this map as very, very bad for Soban against Gonef, so he's just going to go ahead and take that one out. And he's going to pick Tauren Crater for the first map, so this is going to be his map pick. MarchWaden grabs Canyon Outpost and Kalash Teeth. Moose picks Galzian Territories. MarchWaden picks the Boneyard. And I, too, am excited as heck for this series. Because I really don't know who's going to win. And, you know, often when we're casting DOK games, you kind of know, like, until you get to the finals of the tournament, more or less, like, who's going to win all the series. But this one, it's really up in the air. SC comes out. And talking with MarchWaden, I know that he kind of feels he's a bit out of practice here. He's a little too rusty, but he's been playing pretty well the last couple of games that I've seen. I think his chances for winning this are not bad at all. This is a macro build for both players, which is nice. We've got a lot of time to talk about nothing. But hey, I got through my whole info.txt without missing any actions. That's good. It's interesting PCs have such a large vision radius. I think that's because of me complaining about LAVs having a big vision radius so much. I'm only just like realizing that all these things are domes and it's kind of tripping me out. Well, that too, yeah, but that's only like 100. Well, that's actually pretty impactful, I suppose. But it applies to his carrier too and actually makes the comparison look even a little better for it because it's a flat increase. AV Fab, it looks like, coming out from Moose here. He does have that production upgrade on the Q2, gonna finish about the same time. And I'll encounter a couple of skims for MarchWaden here. One skim gonna pop over to the carrier. He just wants to see what's going on here. He does see, well, nothing actually. AV Fab is just finished, but he's not gonna hang around long enough, I don't think, to actually get vision on it. So he didn't catch that, I don't believe. But he should know this is SC first because the carrier's chilling here. We haven't seen that many units. And MarchWaden, does he have a tech? He's going to actually go straight to missile ships, so I guess he's not confident that it isn't air, even though he just saw this. Homeworld Civil War? No, we don't learn that in school. No. Hey, it's Solution. Wow. Welcome. Mailboxes. We do have Heavy Vehicles Armor 1 coming out. So Moose getting ready to fight off these sand skimmers from MarchWaden, should there be a couple more. I think his probe was never deployed, right? So he doesn't necessarily know what's going on here, but yeah, okay. I think it's cool that Gonef have the sensor range. It's something that you don't often see really used very well, but it's kind of an interesting feature. Who's favorite here? Well, I'm not sure. That's the thing. You know, if I had to make a prediction, I think I give it to Moose, but narrowly. This is a hype matchup for sure. We don't really know who's gonna win. And hello, Shrike. Long time no see. I said that last time you were on stream like 2 days ago, so that sounds a little dumb, but whatever. Little scuffle goes out nicely here from MarchWaden. He does catch that LAV. These AVs once again driving out over here on the third base. If you watch those casuals we watched play between these two, this is something you need quite a lot. I'm getting cyberbullied. And MarchWaden does have the anti-air tech done, but he's actually going to build it too. So he's got 2 missile ships out already. The thing is, though, he really wants some kind of a tech to deal with this. This is not a real tech, if you will, right? So these AVs are not going to be terribly dissuade. Wait, this is so much anti-air though. I don't really understand. Okay, he sees the AVs now, so the missile ship's going to retreat, but he's got to give up this base here. The carrier has to come back, I think. And this is kind of catastrophic for MarchWaden. And Moose is teching missile batteries. Once he sees this, that's probably going to be a good tell. Yeah, there's no air here. So I expect that he'll cancel that. Bozo Noir. No cancel actually coming through here. I think this would be the right move, but perhaps he isn't confident that that actually means there's no air, but... Well, what's the tech here from MarchWaden? It's railguns, it looks like. We do have missile battery tech finishing, so that's locked in now. Barrage comes out from the missile ship here, just trying to kick these AVs out of here. Minimal damage though, and MarchWaden can move up onto the 3rd. So this isn't so bad, I guess, but this is still pretty bad. He wants to be on 3 base right now, and his opponent is, but he's not mining. Or, oh, he is. Okay, that was weird looking. The way that these salvagers are lined up, I can't see there's any CU miners there. Yeah, more or less. Nah, we had 50 at one time, right? So it's got to be at least that big. Yeah, MarchWaden gonna have a bit of trouble here, getting back up on the 3 base with no tech, and you can see he drives the carrier in, but the AVs just go around it. Very, very nicely played here by Moose. And he's hitting on the 3rd now. So these Sandstorms are gonna get back here. Yeah, that is pretty big, you know, I gotta admit. Homeworld, Dead Game, Definitive Edition. I think that's just... I think Homeworld is too good at making dead games, man. Damage 2, teching from MarchWaden now, but this really just is such a nightmare to deal with here. And all the AVs have actually found their way up here onto the 3rd, so he can really chonk these salvos if he wants it as well. Right now it looks like he's going for the Sandstormers, which is fair, but let's make sure he doesn't walk into the barrage too hard. This actually kills 2 AVs, so pretty good damage right there. I don't know, it's really strange. I mean, to blind get, like, anti-air tech, that's one thing, but to build 3 of them without seeing any air from your opponent's carrier, I don't understand what MarchWaden was going for here. Tactical missile ship. See, how come this couldn't have been the MarchWaden I was playing against in, like, the JC9 finals, you know? I would have fulfilled my dream of being undefeated in a tournament, you know? It's at 0, he hasn't got any coming up. What's Savannah at? 2. Ooh. Although, yeah, I must say, that is a little bit strange that you would, yeah, make this a viable opener. I should be able to build nothing but anti-air and win. You know I would like that, but for my own selfish reasons. It is a little curious, though, that Moose would go for the, It's a little curious that Moose would go for the Strike Fighters here, though, because he knows that his opponent is overcommitted into anti-air. I think the way to punish that properly is just to never build it, but he seems to want it. It's worked out for him before, so he's just going to go for it again. And we did see Moose play Galsine in the last series, of course, but I think that was more just because he knew he was the favorite by far in that series. He didn't really... Like, he wanted to see how good he was at it, and I think we all determined not as good as Saban, so... Production upgrade finishing here now. He does have that 3rd line open. He's going to make a base burner with it. I like this. But I also really think that Railgun Fab is just going to be very, very strong here. Power 3, though, is going to be the choice for him. And despite all this anti-air, he has found a window to do some damage here. It brings that PC down to almost half. Actually, it's more like a 1/3. Or 2/3, that is. But the missile ships are here, and they're going to be able to stop the Strike Fighters from getting in, so I really think the Salvagers were the better choice there. I can see what he was thinking, though, right? Is like, hey, if I can catch the If I can catch the PC briefly, you know, then the AVs can finish the job, right? But not going to be quite so. And those missiles do end up being a little bit wasted. But this Saban carrier is here now. Only thing is, Conf carriers, like, once you take the fight with them, if it turns out you can't win it, you might be dead already because of the way that they can just throw those missiles at you as you're retreating. So I'm a little worried for Moose. I'm not so sure that he actually wins this as convincingly as he thinks. We'll see, though. Certainly nobody's allowed to complain the Saban carrier is weak in comparison to the Con F one here, though. With, like weak, like squishy, that is. Having no power system that it can put into it, a max at 15 here, this means that the Con F carrier is always going to take a lot of damage. It's just its ability to put it out. That's the thing. So it's a little bit scary for the Saban carrier to push into. MarchWaden's not going to try anything crazy. Oh, it does, eh? Oh, yeah. I guess that is somewhat of an advantage. And it, well, that's the thing, it has actually quite a good speed that it can get up to. So, well, yeah, that's the thing. I think Moose should be happy that MarchWaden is giving up all of this just for free, because it's not certain that he would actually win this. So, exactly, you're right. He denies the base like this. I don't think he really needs to do anything else. And when the railguns get here, I think he can just leave. But again, he could have had that tech a while ago. I think that's probably the right call here. But he's playing it his way. Strike fighters, ooh, gonna take a shot as they leave the carrier. That's always a little bit awkward. Take two. I mean, a little bit too weak, that blob, to really, you know, risk being shot at one more time now, right? But again, he's got these AEVs on the base still, so he's doing a good job of pressuring his opponent. And this causes the railguns to come back, means he can deny that base for even longer, so... But yeah, I totally agree with that. Because when your opponent gets, you know, missile ships before any other tech like this, right, just don't build air. I mean, uh-oh, this is a massacre waiting to happen. Oh, he's just staying under it. He doesn't even care. Oh, no. All of the strike fighters gonna die here. That's catastrophic. And he does have a microwave emitter now, but it's being shot in a very strange location here. Kind of carrier, though, not gonna be able to fight this, so at least he has this, right? Actually, the missile ships kind of walked into that one, but they can just leave. They're not gonna get hit by this. And they have their barrages ready too. So I mean, these AVs might just die too if he's standing still here. Uh-oh. Oh, geez, it's a lot of damage. No, that's a lot of... I don't think even Flex State could fix this, you know? I don't think so. Railgun Fab finally coming out here. This is what I wanted from Moose. And he does have that power in a very nice configuration. A lot of range here such that he can see. If there are railguns to shoot at him, he's almost got the range to just... No, yeah, he's got the range actually right now to already shoot back at them. So this is just what you want to see from Moose here. Power 5 on the way too. And he has armor 3 on these AVs too, so they're quite survivable. He's gonna bring this base runner... Oh, he stopped. I think he should bring the base runner up then, if that's not already his plan. He could just go for the free extracts though, so it's debatable, but that targeting jammer will be quite effective against these railguns here. But I think that... Ooh, I think that Moose is starting to lose a little bit too much to these railguns such that he needs to back away. Now he's got the smoke, he's not going to be in too much danger. He can just power up the armor and leave, but... Yeah, these railguns are just a little bit too scary. I agree, Shrike. I think it's very late. But he does have them out now. And he hasn't got that mag excel, but I don't know if he really needs it here. Because that carrier is probably going to be the one that really does the damage to the rails. These just need to, you know, ward off the carrier from doing too much damage to his. And then at this point, the 5th range power is actually probably not very useful because he doesn't have vision out there, so... The thing is, it's so easy when you're playing Coalition to, It's very easy when you're playing Coalition to have your carrier as sort of the front line with the rails behind it, but I think the Saban carrier really kind of wants another unit to be frontlining for it, such that it can use that range advantage. Let's be a little bit careful about throwing this here, because... Uh-oh, yeah, okay, he is powering up the armor, though. He's on top of it. But this kit carrier is here, so there's a lot of damage output potential. He's going to bring the missile ships, too, and, you know, the Jaws thing starts playing. You know what these things are planning on doing. Oh, boy. Yeah, there's the barrage. He's not even really going to try to dodge it here. He does have the microwave emitter landing on the rails now, but this carrier's getting quite uncomfortably low now. He's going to put the power in max here so he can get the self-heal. Oh, man. Is that an honor guard? Oh. It's in the microwave emitter for now, so it's getting a little bit toasted. I think the carrier throw is the only way that MarchWaden wins this, though, because it looks like the units are just getting a little bit too peppered here for MarchWaden. Yeah, and the missiles are not even hitting the spawn carriers. I think that this is probably a done deal. But it's still a little bit uncomfortable, I gotta say, with this spawn carrier getting low like this. Yeah, okay, that will do it here. This guy gets a large chunk of veterans, so he'll be happy with this. And MarchWaden's carrier does fall, giving Moose game 1 of this series. I looked a little bit nervous for a bit, but I've got to say, once again, it seems like Moose is really just kind of all over MarchWaden in the early game. And the reason is because his openers are very strange. I don't know what he's going for. I think that's what he's really got to step up moving into game 2 here. We'll see if he figures that out. But these openers for MarchWaden are just really no good. Canyon Alt, of course, is going to be the map here. These two picked by Moose. Sorry, by MarchWaden. Sorry. Canyon Outpost and then College Teeth here. And College Teeth is going to be a very good map for him. Because, obviously, on College Teeth, he's got the Con of Siege potential, right? So, if that is potentially, like, the last match in the series because he loses this one, he won't, like... He'll be pretty comfortable knowing that's probably his strongest pick here. But yeah, I would say the same A-game. And yeah, Shrike, this is a best of 5, so no chance for elimination in this game just yet. And here comes that production upgrade first for Moose. Gonna be a different tempo than the last game. He wants to go aggressive here with these LAVs. And as you can see, First Challenger already gonna head out to the second base location. Very tight build here. He's done a little bit of a quick drop to make this work out. And then he gets a bit of RU mining going because he is going to want to get that boost eventually, but mostly he wants CUs. Looks like actually this guy will also LDM, so it's the next Salvager that'll do the long distance mining for him. Just as long as he's not too late on LAV Fab, this will work out just fine. He can start that one up now. And as for MarchWaden, I expect this is going to be ref mode first once again. No, actually, it's Skimmer Fab first. It looks like he's bringing his PC up here. He's kept the base runner, so this could be an interesting kind of early game. I mean, if it comes down to like a really strong blast drone hit, that's always a little bit exciting, but it would be a shame for the game to end that fast. But I think that probably this will be a tense opener for both players. We do have a Soul Chip tech started here from MarchWaden. I'd say that's a bit convenient as we do have an LAV opener here for Moose, obviously. Who is, it looks like, going to fill out his RU line here. He's going to get that second guy started. There it is. And here we're going to have the first contact on the field. He does fan out quite nicely, trying to catch a wide area vision. He sees the skim, knows, okay, it's Skimmer Fab first. If MarchWaden does this, he is going to go for some kind of aggro. So it's going to be a fight out in the middle here. But this is not good for MarchWaden. He wants to get the Skimmer out of here if he can. And he will. Now he has that base runner smoke to maybe make a bit of a scream, and he's not moving it towards the fight. So it doesn't look like he's going to commit this right now. Soul Chip Fab done in like 5 seconds though. Not really a good time to start another skim. He'll just go straight for that Soul Chip, I'm sure. Uses the smoke there. He does get the skim into the smoke. You love to see it. That's not an easy thing to micro there, so it's always pretty hyped to watch someone actually manage to do that, right? And this blast drone is almost out now, so I think this is where MarchWaden would want to commit, right? But like it's dangerous because he still has a low hit point bar. What the heck? That was kind of strange. But Moose does see it, so he's going to have to detonate now. He gets 2 kills anyway, though, and the skim's on the way up because obviously the blast drone is tanking in a sense. They get some free shots there and get another kill here. So this is, I think, 3 to 4 now. He's going to lose 1 more, though. And this one might be forfeit as well. He needs to have that assault ship come out, like, a little bit sooner, it feels, but he can't really... Well, no, I think he could if he didn't commit so much into long-distance miners, so maybe that was a bit of a mistake. He has smoke to deploy again off the base burner, but it's only going to buy a little bit of time, so... Down that goes. But he does... No, he doesn't have armor 1 yet. That's probably the next thing to get. Because the thing is, with these LAVs here, I'm not sure... Yeah, we do have assault pack first, this is the normal thing to do. But they will actually be able to fight off these assault ships here if you don't get that armor upgrade, I think. I mean, eventually it starts looking bad, because that AoE starts stacking and the assault ships will reach a critical mass, but that mass is lower if you have the armor upgrade, so obviously it's a good thing to get. And yeah, he is going to do that. This goes against the principle I often say when you're building sand skimmers, which is that if you have the 2 production lines, now you want to get the upgrades, but otherwise don't. But this is a different case. Question is, what's the expansion timing? It's already here. The Spore Cruiser is done for Moose. That's a really big deal, actually. He's moving it out to the front line, which is a little bit funny looking, but... Uh-oh, Salvager is actually in a little bit of danger here. He loses 1 already, and MarchWaden being very lazy. He's not moving these guys out here. He really needs to get out of there. He loses 2 Salvagers off the main. For a minimal cost for Moose, I think he lost 1 LAV there, and a bit of hit point pool as well, which is impactful for Coalition, because they won't heal this back, but... That's big, though. MarchWaden's gonna be happy with this. And ref mode needs to start for him now at some point. It's kind of lucky for him. Moose accidentally left this bad rally on for a while, but this is a very tight SC timing here, and Moose is playing this right. This is exactly what he wants to get out of this early game. Only question now is, okay, what are you going to do about the assault ships when they inevitably come for the counter push? But the first thing he's planning on doing is going for another attack, which I love. But he's got AV tech started already. It's done, actually, I should say already. And he'll just build those, and I think this is going to be fine. He'll be able to fight the assault ships. He may have to give up second base for a small time, but with the damage he's already done, that's going to be okay. And he comes back in again, and once again, these salvagers not really using the hill here for cover. Oh, he loses 1 more that way, and maybe even a second here, as obviously the LAVs are just going to start chunking up the second base salves. Oh dear. MarchWaden's still just with not enough defense. I mean, I guess he figured that the LAVs were going to leave, but he didn't really have vision on it to know. Okay, where's the assault ships, though? They are almost here. And there's only 1 AV to defend for now. Armor 1 on the way, but he's going to need to buy a bit of time with the smoke here. But 2 more AVs on the way down. Alright. Drops that smoke there to just try and buy a little bit of time. This is only Armor 1. Armor 1 is done for Moose now, so he's bought enough time, I think. 3 on 4 with the SC healing, I think he probably wins this. But MarchWaden does have ref mode done now. He's just lost so many salvagers, though. He's not on 2 base. I mean, if MarchWaden was in position now to jump up to 3 really fast, these guys could probably get him ahead, if you will, just by like hiding here and waiting for that third base to come out on this side, which you know your opponent can't be up to. But not going to be like that. There's a little bit of high ground for Moose here. It's a bit awkward with the dunes, I guess, but he's also got that smoke, though, and he can keep himself alive for a long time here. Oh, it doesn't... Oh, sorry, Moose, that is. Doesn't quite get that AAV back into the smoke there, so he does lose 1. But this is actually where he'd like to push. This is where he'd like to push here, because these health pools are pretty low. And yeah, I agree. I mean, once he gives up that high ground, it's difficult. And while he has it too, he has such a threat of like jumping up onto the salvagers. So. And I know what you mean, Shrike. Watching DOK just really makes you want to play it. This game is very satisfying when you're the guy in Moose's position, you know. You get a couple salvager kills here and there, and your opponent comes and tries to do the same thing, but you hold him off. You're just like, it's such a good feeling. Oh, definitely. Not such a good feeling if you're MarchWaden, I suspect. And He's definitely behind in this series, in this game, I would say. What's the deal with the snake? Well, apparently PogChamp is no longer good. We must get rid of PogChamp, so they use the snake now. It like changes every day or something. Really annoys me. That's a different topic though. I've gone into that on stream too much already. And besides, if I talk bad about Big Bad Amazon, you know, it'll come down and strike me, so. Which, to be fair, that's not a good thing, but why change the emote for it? It's just annoying. Oh, it's just locked to the snake? Oh. Well, the snake's not so bad. It's not the same, though. Just not the same. Virtue signaling, that's what that's called. Anyway, we do have the strike fighters done here for Moose. He's got 3 in the hangar, 2 more on the queue. His third base timing is actually a little bit slower than MarchWaden, but this is his compensation, is that he's getting this air. MarchWaden's going to a very fast Con F siege. That's the thing, that we do use Stalin and Hitler for memes, but that's a different topic. Snake stick up, nice. Memes of production? Okay, you get a cookie. Yeah, well, I disagree, that's the thing. Oh well. It's not got much to do with you, okay? Strike fighters are hitting the base now. We've killed 1 salve already. And they'll get more. It'd be nice if you flipped the fire onto one of these full health guys, because that was a lot of overkill, but not terribly easy to handle these things in the moment. That's a good point too, Liz. But yeah, like I said, his compensation for not being on 3 base at the same timing was that he would have these air units, right? You can see, I mean, it's kind of convenient in this case because it's paid for itself immediately. He obviously, instantly he has gotten the 3rd base wiped for MarchWaden, so that's the compensation paying off, right? And Con F Siege tech is going to be done now, but a missile ship tech has to come out immediately here, because otherwise MarchWaden's just going to die to these interceptors. And actually, air is a good answer to Con F Siege, I think, temporarily, because you can stop it from moving out across the field, so this is looking really, really good for Moose. Oh my gosh, I'm getting another text for Jesus. I'm not Jesus! I get all these texts. Some guy used to have my number, and like his name was Jesus, I guess, and so people will be like, "Hey Jesus, what's up?" You know? It's been going on for years now. A little bit of an attempt of a backstab here for MarchWaden. But what's it gonna do? I mean, again, his opponent has the air superiority, so he can just send those strike fighters out and take care of it. Armor 3 done. And that's going to be really impactful, actually, because, like, obviously, Con F Siege trades quite effectively into AVs, but if you got enough of them, you can probably kill Con F Siege, so... Well, probably. You can definitely do it. It's not really how you want to play this, but, like, for the time being, it can be sort of a band-aid solution. Moose doesn't know about these just yet, of course. Like, he's probably waiting for the interceptors to come out, but... Not going to be so this game. We do have the anti-air on the way, though. They're about to come out now. Two Con F Siege now for MarchWaden. And that Con F Siege cruiser just instantly pops here, but he is under the missile ship now, so he needs to be a little careful off the follow-up here. Doesn't want to lose too many. But getting that Con F Siege cruiser kill for free, that is really big news for Moose. Doesn't want to overcommit though, because the missile ship is here, so MarchWaden's going to keep that second one alive. You know, these AAVs are not going to, like, kill this carrier or anything, but, they can just run right past him. I mean, they don't need to care about this. He's giving a lot of respect to the carrier here. Oh, jeez. I love having you on stream, man. Don't ever leave me. Like you did before, Dad. The base runners are headed out to the extraction zone too here, and obviously, like, if MarchWaden commits the carrier to try and stop this, he'll just lose everything, so you can't do that. And we do have railguns coming out too. I mean, oh, jeez. Okay, that was a big deal right there. Sorry I only caught it just barely on the camera, but the missile ships land this massive barrage there. All the AAVs clumped up there, so they take this massive AoE damage. Well, they can't fight Con of Siege now, I'll tell you that much. Missile ship gets a pretty good hit too on this back end. Nerf KSC again, please. Uh-oh. Missile ships are here, so he's got to be careful about committing into the Con of Siege cruiser. Double pop. Okay, it only gets one here because they do split up nicely, which is good. It's a mini KSC, yeah, pretty much. Second artifact comes down here for Moose, though. So he's going to be feeling good about that, and he is getting eco damage at the same time. He didn't really get any kills off this. Well, he actually apparently killed one, but the AEVs are just going to have their way with the second base, which is nice. They do manage to take down the salvagers there. So he's getting damage here, but still lost a lot of army right there. 2 Con of Siege is going to be enough to... Well, there's only one. Weren't there 2? Did he lose one somehow? I didn't even catch this. He needs another one then, for sure, because obviously what he needs to do now is fight off these railguns, and that barrage is really impactful. It's big. Aha! Look at this, the second one. But it's on a large cooldown, right? And he does have 2 support cruisers here as well to heal up his units, so I mean, it's not going to be terribly easy to make that work. Cooldown on this, of course, about the same, I think, as the Coalition barrages, which is 100 seconds for Con of Siege. Whereas Galazian's only like 40. This barrage here, you're going to fall a little short, it looks like, so it's nice for Moose. And he's got a lot of railguns now, pushing up to 8 here. By the way, he's got armor 3 too, so I mean, these guys are very, very survivable. I mean, the armor, not really such a huge deal in this case, but it's that HP that they get. And he has Mag XL too, so it's not like he needs that still. But it's 3 Con of Siege now. Only one has its barrage ready, and it's going to use it right now. I think he kind of needs to not stagger them like this. He needs to fire them all at once. Because that healing off the back end is going to be a big deal. But I guess he just feels like he needs pressure now, because this carrier is like almost dead. Oh my gosh. This carrier is really almost dead. Salon carrier still can be a little bit squishy here, and the missile barrage lands. There's 3 Con of Siege on it, but is MarchWaden just going to die here? It wouldn't really matter if that happens. No, he does get over the dune. So now this may be a threat that he can kill Moose's carrier, but it doesn't look great. The barrage is instantly cancelled from MarchWaden too. He's getting a little bit sweaty here. Oh. There's still a lot of damage coming down here, but I think that the railguns have him covered, and Moose is going to be okay. Another Con of Siege pops, though. And here come the Strike Fighters launching once again. Actually, you know what? There was anti-air here, but it's died. This is totally valid. This might be enough of a threat to kill off this Con F carrier. And it doesn't look like Moose has taken any net damage. He's got enough support cruisers here to keep him covered. Another Con of Siege goes down. And Spawn Carrier feeling confident now. This is going to drive up here, and he does manage to take the game. Nice finish. That was cool. This Spawn Carrier got really low there, but I really think MarchWaden needed to stack those barrages at the same time rather than going, you know, once at a time, because those SCs can just heal up the railguns too fast. Game 3 then, like I mentioned, this is going to be a good one for MarchWaden because this map is very, very favorable to him, I think, but it is, you know, series point here. And Moose is doing a good job so far. Every time in the opener, he just seems to have a really big edge there. And it's a testament that MarchWaden's macro is still pretty good, that he makes it close later, but it's getting tight. Oh, you had to remake after like 5 minutes. That sucks. I hate it when that happens, but... Because then, like, if you had a strat prepared for this particular map, you've kind of got to scrap it because your opponent already knows what it is. Yeah. Yeah, only if, like, one person has it and one person doesn't. But that'll crash you, like, immediately, right? So... Well, it's probably just somewhat decreased stability from having, like, you know, injected DLLs or whatever, but I don't know. It's a price you're willing to pay, right? Yeah, who made this crap patch anyway? Delete A game. What? The Scara don't like what the Scara see. Clearly. Yeah, man. Why can't you be more like Bob, A-game? Come on. It says C first for Moose. Once again, we do have ref mode for MarchWaden, so it looks like both of them just gonna play this slow. Oh, uh-oh. Probe goes down to the PC. A little bit of bad micro there for Moose. This is gonna be big for MarchWaden. I just love how easily A-game can admit that. It's true, yeah, if you try to move the probe like onto the rocks, it won't move at all. That's another thing that'd be nice to fix, but that would take a lot of work. Allowing like air units to move onto impassable terrain. It's just weird because I think that like strike fighters could do it. But yeah, that's the price we all pay to play Jaraci patches, downloading a bunch of DLLs from some Lithuanian dude, right? Your entire computer is Nicolas Cage. Oh no. Happens, man. It's the price you pay. Moose with the second SC, by the way. This is pretty greedy. But I like it, though. And MarchWaden's kind of matching. He's going for another PC here. But I guess Moose's thought here is just that, like, his opponent is not gonna go for some kind of early game attack here. So just go ahead and get that that SC started. Oh, really? Oh. I guess that makes sense. I've never tried that before. I just usually don't move it on the cliff, you know, but that would work. Man, I wish we could make custom maps for DOK. I've got so many ideas, you know, but... You know what they say, if you're not flying, you're not trying, right? That's how they say, right? Fleet Cap 45 coming out from MarchWaden now. He's got a Soul Chip Fab on the Q2, so he is going to get his tech locked in. But he does have that second PC, so he's going to get up to 3 base pretty quick here. Bit of a change of pace from last game. Both players just going to take it a bit slow here in the early game. And I like this move too. He drops off the RU guy and then he brings him out to the third to be mining over there. That seems really smart to me because he needs CUs more than anything right now. You can see that resource imbalance reflected up in the top right. Well, that's the thing though. We can't make new maps, right? So we're just working off the terrain that we have. And until you've played Vanilla Shallows, okay, don't say it's as bad as it gets. That's as bad as it gets. Besides, I made it, so it's special to my heart. I do think it would be nice if I flipped the extraction zones, but I don't know. Needs some testing. Yeah, there's only so much you can do when you can't... Oh, yeah. There's only so much you can do when you can't choose the terrain, you know? Little handshake over there. They pass by each other. Give the baton to the sand skimmer, and then you say, wait a minute, what the heck am I doing here? But good scouting from both sides. I mean, they know about, or at least Moose knows about the 3 base. And MarchWaden probably has an idea. Because if he hasn't met any resistance yet, you know, like Moose is not the kind of player who's going to not go 3 base, but then just sit there in the midfield. So both players probably understanding where each other are. Assault Cruiser Fab coming out from Moose now. Again, pretty early timing, but for MarchWaden, it's Interceptor tech here. And Assault Cruisers will work on Kalash Teeth kind of the same way that Con of Siege does, I think. But I think Con of Siege will do it better, because they can also barrage over the hills. But MarchWaden's going to choose to delay that a little bit and go for Siege instead. Maybe thinking his opponent might go air if he doesn't, but I think maybe he just likes air units. And this is definitely the MarchWaden style. He's got Armor 2 teching, but so does Moose. He's going to finish it first, though. And AVs are faster, so there's a potential for chase down here if Moose wants to go in. Oh. Drops that targeting jammer. This is actually looking like a pretty good surround here. He's getting the damage on this flank. Yes, actually, this is a very, very nice move from Moose. He wants to keep pushing though and delete this trash targeting jammer here so he can get in there. But he isolates the two here, so these guys are able to take down this AV. I don't quite finish the kill though. But these AVs here have got high ground. He's taking a bit of AoE though. Uh-oh, I think he's got to back up now. These two guys are still in place, so don't forget about them. Oh, he loses one though. He needed to get that self-smoke. He can still do it. He does get the self-smoke, but it's a little bit too late, and that AV goes down too. It's getting tight here. This base runner, unfortunately, probably forfeit. It's not faster than these assault ships, so it can't really run away. We do have ACs on the queue, but that means no more AVs are coming in here, so that's actually kind of a bad thing in a way. I do like how he launches that probe before he goes down, tries to catch the scope of exactly what's going on, so he knows there's like 6 of them coming in. He's gonna bring that carrier back then, brings the support cruiser over to the second. He still has a targeting jammer ready to deploy from this base runner, but this guy I don't think is gonna survive. Well, maybe he will actually. Oh! Oh, barely! That was so close though, he really nearly kept that guy alive. If that targeting jammer cooldown had been like half a second less, you know, he probably would have kept that guy up. Darn. Yeah, the last shot, that's crazy. Tight margins, you know, but that's what you love to see. That's what you want to see in a series like this. 2 ACs are out though, and I think this is about where MarchWaden starts to give up some field control here, but he has the interceptors out and there's no AC anti-air, so remember what we saw last game with those kind of siege cruisers getting sniped? We might just watch that again. And no strike, it's called a 1.2, so if it tells you 1.1T, you probably have the wrong one. Well, you definitely have the wrong one, I should say. You can tell before you get into the multiplayer lobby though, if you check the bottom left of the screen, it'll tell you. Here come the interceptors. They make their first entrance onto the map here. Seeing the ACs though, MarchWaden must know that Assault Cruiser anti-air will be teched before too long, so he's probably going to want to start moving into, he's probably going to start wanting to move into Con F Siege here. But he will get this kill. But wait a minute, how's this happening though? The assault ships have found a way back into the base here, and there is another AC popping, but this is a lot of assault ships. I mean, he could lose a lot of salvagers off of this second. He smokes them, so he knows that that's the danger here. I don't really understand how this happened though. Oh jeez. And AC anti-air is not done yet either, so these interceptors are probably going to kill off this AC too. Looks like these assault ships are actually a little bit stuck in here. Now that I'm seeing this, it looks a little bit worse, but I can respect that window though. Oh, the anti-air is done. Oh, it doesn't manage to get a kill there. So MarchWaden not losing any interceptors so far, and he kills 2 ACs with it, but he is going to lose his assault ship army, it looks like. Kind of siege, not on the way, but he does have bomber. Oh. You know, I like this. Now, Moose is going to get missile battery fab because he does think he needs more anti-air. He's worried about these, maybe about these bombers, but about something at least, and this interceptor is going to go down finally. But the bombers are a nice counter to cruisers, right? Because obviously they dump a lot of damage onto a single target. If you can kill that anti-air, it's not going to come back to bite him. And he catches another AC, by the way. That's huge. He probably wants to dock these guys. I'm feeling nervous about them being here, but he almost kills the SC. Oh. This is crazy. And yes, you're definitely right, they would. it's just gameplay, you know. Don't worry about it. I think one time I calculated the G-forces of a Gaussian pilot and an interceptor. It was pretty ridiculous. Something like 20 G. But I can't totally remember. Uh-oh, I don't like this attempt from MarchWaden. He's just gonna try and bomb out this anti-air turret post, and he'll get it, but at what cost? I mean, obviously this this AC is still here. Yeah, that's gonna be a dead interceptor for sure. Yeah, haven't you ever watched Batman Begins? Come on. Everyone knows about this. Overcharge can be used here. I don't like this commit though, because he knows he's not by the missile battery. Yeah, the bomber is gonna get a juicy hit there. That leaves the assault ships to finish it on their own. Oh, but the bomber! Ah! Oh, what are you doing? Ah, home free, but he went back in. Sucks. Uh-oh, and the interceptors are gonna commit into this too. For why? Oh, this is so bad. I mean, like, what, you're gonna kill a missile battery? But the missile battery's purpose is to do anti-air, so if you lose all of your interceptors for it, it's already fulfilled its goal, you know? And this base runner is a freaking commander. What, he's gonna lose this bomber if he's not careful too? Oh my gosh. Oh, it's a little messy for MarchWaden here, but he is getting in there with the assault ships, and to be fair, it's a long time this main base hasn't been mining. Recharge upgrade kind of from MarchWaden. Given he's got 5 bombers, I think that makes sense. You don't often see that. But these assault ships, again, are a little stuck in. I mean, they're not going to be able to get out here, so... I'd love to see him finish the kill on this guy. Yeah, okay, it looks like the carrier will handle it. Another targeting jammer from Moose's base runners, which... Man, it's scrappy, you know, they're using everything in their toolkit here, but it's definitely Moose who's losing economy, but it's MarchWaden who's losing army, and... he's got those 5 bombers still. I guess part of me is not sure who's really winning here. Oof. Well, the alpha strike against these bombers is starting to get a little ridiculous, though. MarchWaden can't keep doing this. I mean, he's got enough anti-air. Oh, man, he lost 3 bombers there. Ugh. He needs that siege cruiser tech, because he's got no follow-up to this, right? He needs some kind of a ground army that can get in there. Yeah, if you microwave your enemies and then you can just eat them. You know how like a hot dog will like explode in the microwave, you know? I'd eat a Con F guy if he looked like that. Nah, see, it's the Con F. They're cannibals, right? They should have the microwave emitter, duh. Maybe that's what this whole fight is about. Maybe they're like trying to get the microwave emitter off that Savant carrier. So that they can eat, you know, cooked food for once. What are we talking about? Power 2 done for Just Carrier. Done for Moose. Man, I'm so bad with names. Well, yeah, it is a little bit of a lull in the action, though, but probably a good thing for MarchWaden that that's happened. I don't know, man. Is BBI worthy of my legendary ideas? I think I'm gonna have to turn that offer down. This is where the bombers want to be, by the way, because that AC they can kill. Well, maybe they'll get this missile battery too, but he might lose a bomber for it, and that's just not worth it. Ooh. Oh, man. Ooh, yeah, it's dead, right? Oh, yeah, it's very dead. This is just too sloppy with these bombers. He's losing so many of them. Yes, rip indeed. Those guys had families, you know. And these ACs are not going to have trouble with these assault ships either, so... But the bomber, again, this is where the bomber can do its work. Let's be careful he doesn't lose it, though. Uh-oh, he needs to dock right now. Oh, it's too late. It's just, he's not caring for the survivability of these bombers here, and they are definitely suffering for it. He's gonna lose another one, and this one, oh no. Ah. It's really, he's gotta be more careful with these bombers, because if they go down, again, he's not got Con of Siege. There's no follow-up here. Other than these assault ships, I guess, which to be fair, there's a lot of them. So maybe I shouldn't say no follow-up at all, but he can't just lose these things. He needs to keep them alive. And Con of Siege tech, again, really needs to be the choice here. Two bombers for 2 AC. Yeah, but when you think in terms of the fact he could have traded 0 bombers for 2 AC, that's definitely the play, right? It's not good enough, right? Especially because he doesn't have, he doesn't, like, you have the tools to answer this assault ship much easier than he has the tools to answer anything that you've got. Lone Interceptor, gonna make a fly over here, but anywhere it goes, it's kind of covered, so maybe I should just kill probes. Yeah, it looks like that is, but let's get it. Oh! Well. Down it goes. Worth. Stupid probes. Always kill a probe if you can, my friends. Probes are dumb. But yeah, eventually the money for those bombers just runs dry, and that's what's happening for MarchWaden here. If he keeps losing them to the anti-air like that, it's, you know, he hasn't got any left. He's not going to find a window to get in with these assault ships, right? I mean, there's no way that he's going to be able to push against the Saban carrier. Oh, jeez, that might be a lot of damage. Oh, but it misses. Nice. There's no way he'll find a window to push into the Saban carrier here, so he's brought his carrier out. He's getting carrier power. That seems to be the way that he wants to play this late game. But it feels like not a whole lot of bite, you know what I mean? Although, to be fair, Moose does need to build up an army. He's got a lot of anti-air assets, but he needs more army to deal with this. If he remembers where this anti-air turret post is, he might be able to kill that too. Because, just Con F things, right? I'd make some joke about how it's DLC, so they need to make it OP, but then again, there's Vanilla Saban, which is like the worst faction ever, so... Micromitter teching for Moose now. He wants that nuke ready. With the combination of targeting jammers, that might be really powerful to like lock down the assault ships and then block the retreat path and just chomp them all out. Although, of course, you need to be careful you don't block the micromitter from doing any damage. But, Faith missiles. They're made out of, like, the body parts of other people, I guess. A couple more missiles flomping in here. That AA turret does take a bit of damage. Yeah, you're not a script Richter, so get out of here. We do have artillery done, by the way, for Moose. And this is what I was, did I mention that I think he needed artillery? Well, I do think he needs it, so... Uh-oh, but here come the assault ships. But again, that's the micro-emitter trying to block the retreat path, but there's only one AC here that can't really fight them, so... He ends up looking a little weak. He needs a barrage from the artillery cruiser. That's not quite done yet, though. These assault ships gonna try to push him on that flank, but that's not really gonna get anything done. And the AC goes down, actually, to the assault ships. The micro-emitter did kill one, but... Not terribly good trading here, obviously. It's still up, though. And now he does have the force to push him out through it. Oh, but it runs out just then. That's quite unfortunate. You can see that idea there, but it didn't really pan out. Matt. Although that's a funny thing, the Conf used the same veterancy names as Galzian. I actually made a post on HW, like, asking long-time members of the community what we should change it to, since you can change that in the patch, but nobody really responded, so... I should ask around for that again, though. I agree, though. This is where it starts getting tough because of these carrier missiles. Yeah, you can. I actually... I actually changed them in joke patch to, like, see if I could do it, so it definitely works. I like the precision barrages here, actually. Oh, they don't quite land. Oh wait, no, these are just normal barrages, right? Oof, I think an SC went down here. This is the thing, like, just by throwing these, you know, maybe carrier missiles really are made out of faith, right? Because just by throwing these out, he finds damage, right? I mean, it's there to be had. Does he anticipate this, right? Ooh. Oh, jeez. Like I said, this is a good map for MarchWaden in this series. I mean, I've taken to always banning this when I'm playing Gaussian, but even as Coalition, it feels a little tough. That being said, this is kind of a nice idea of a backstab, but I feel like... I mean, first off, the main base is mined out. There's only 117 left in that stack there, so... That was close. Oh, there's another one. Oh, but it missed. Okay, okay. Maybe you can keep this guy alive. Oh, don't bring him back forward. Oh, man. Okay. I think he's gonna keep that guy alive. He's got that micro-emitter ready to go again, so there is potentially plays that can be made here, but you can tell he feels that pressure to stop the artifact. He has destroyed most of the army for MarchWaden, but it feels like at this point a lot of the army for MarchWaden is just that carrier power, you know? Ooh, artillery takes a big hit there as well. Oh, I'm sure he knows. It's really difficult to do anything about it, you know? Drops the micro-emitter just to try and stop the artifact from getting out. One of them does make it already, though. Yeah, it looks like he does respect this. He has to back away. Carrier gonna get a little toasted by this, actually, but he's got enough healing, it's probably not gonna be terribly impactful. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna take it back. You shouldn't stand in the nuke when you know it's there. And he wants to get these two out as well, but I like the probe to see if the path is clear. That's a nice touch, but he sees it isn't, so... It'll do too much. Moose is not a fan of the micro-emitters, so... Oh dear. He doesn't see this. I think artillery is gonna go... Oh! Okay, he didn't quite focus them just right, so that's nice for Moose. He hasn't got precision barrages up though, but I think he can stop this base runner, especially with the carrier block if he goes for it, but I think he's got the damage either way. He needs to targeting jammer these AS though and get out of there. The bomber though, the bomber cleans up one and it's just in position to drop the bomb and kill two and it gets taken out. That was really close right there. Because I think that bomb would have killed both of these artillery cruisers. These are very, very fragile units. And this is getting tense here now. I mean, MarchWaden is still fighting for his life. It's him who's on match point, you know. But he has got Moose in a tough situation. It's not easy to close this out. It's gonna take a lot of time here. This Conif carrier, man, when he gets powered up like this, it's just horrifying to fight. Imagine if you had Conif Siege, though. I think that's really what he needs. I mean, Conif Siege is almost always a good choice, you know, so... Yeah, he's got Power 7 already. Oh, the AV's gonna take a nice trade here, as they have the... Well, one of them is in the ALM, or the targeting jammer too, but they have his opponent in the targeting jammer there, so he's able to take a nice trade here. He's just trying to dodge these missiles, but it's so hard. Artillery cruisers really do not maneuver well either, so it's really difficult to get them out of the way. Knows it's dead, he's just going to try to drop the precision barrage on the PC here. A lot of damage, but... I think this is a new artillery cruiser, but again, like, it's just going to get hunted down by these missiles. It's really, really hard to deal with this. So ACs are probably a better choice, and he does get one out. The thing is, MarchWaden doesn't have any army here at all, right? It's just the carrier. So this AC could actually put in quite a lot of damage, but Moose needs to get up on top of him. Can't necessarily do that, because obviously MarchWaden's got the power to be faster than him, so... You can see Moose has got like full power to armor, but it just doesn't really do anything. Well, he doesn't have full power. Oh, he missed the attack missile barrage too. That's gotta hurt. And he does go down. Ripple and Pipple. It was a hard game for MarchWaden. This is 25 minutes of slog here. A lot of bombers freaking died there, but he does take the game and he keeps himself alive. Can you move into game 4 of the series now? As my continue button is impossible to reach. There we go. But yeah, those missiles really did a lot for him there. I think the problem was Moose losing the ACs to the interceptors at the beginning there. Yeah, no, I'm gonna agree. I mean, that kind of play on a different map, I don't really think he wins it. But we'll see. Oh, whoops, I didn't load it in. We'll see what he can do here, though. And there's game 4 on Galzian territories. Again, this one gonna be Moose's pick. Let's see what he can get done here. I saw I got pinged on HW, so I check out here. How do you cancel a rally? Hold down Alt and tap the F4 key. I love it. Yeah, that's how you do it, by the way. Uh-oh. This often happens when you're rotating the carriers, or the base runner can't find it for the retire, so best to wait to rotate the carrier until after you've already retired that base runner, I think. But he does get it eventually. It looks like he didn't want to go for SC immediately anyway, so it's going to be okay. Oh. Hiccups. You know how that goes. The production upgrade here on the queue already for Moose. This is definitely going to be an LAB opener, and that's a good map for it. Very open. And a good map for Saban too, I am assuming. But obviously this map can often turn into a bit of an artillery slog too, surprisingly, just because there are a lot of dunes here, even though there's also a lot of open ground and high ground ready to be had. I like your meme, Sikai Jin. I like your meme. I like that one about I like that one about panic, calm panic even better though. Especially because that actually happened in one of these games in this series already. Oh jeez. Ref mode coming out for MarchWaden here as we expected. The probe does see it, but this time he keeps it alive, so that probe not going to go down. The thing is, this is a very good early aggro map, and it's also a very, very good LDM map, surprisingly. I mean, that's not usually something you worry about, but the resources are so close here that it's quite efficient to mine this. So getting ref mode and being up on that second base proficiently is not as important as it would have been in other maps, you know? So MarchWaden has a second PC queuing already, actually. This is quite a greedy opener here. This is kind of what MarchWaden often does, but I'm worried for him, because obviously Sanskrit just now starting, but these guys are already in the midfield here. Not going to be long before they reach that carrier. And they're not going to, you know, dive the carrier and kill Skims, but they can hold him off that second base for potentially a long time. So we'll see what Moose gets done with this attack here, but at any rate, he's definitely the one with the pressure on. When MarchWaden finishes the second PC, then he'll be able to, you know, outdo with, like, skim production, but with how much of a lead Moose has got, that's going to take a long time. So here come the LEVs. As I said, it will push him off of his second base. And this salvager here just kind of awkwardly has to run to the corner, and he's going to be there for some time. Needs to avoid detection or else he'll just get killed. Does manage to hide, though, so that is nice for MarchWaden. Now he's got ref mode, so the idea I think is to bring the carrier out and try and push them, but... Oh, stay away! Oh, this guy I'm still a little bit worried for. But the problem is that if you push the carrier too far out, he'll just come around and start, you know, chonking at your main. Assault pack done for Moose now. We do have raiding teching from MarchWaden as well, so he's not going to go into one of the techs. He wants to fight this with Skims, but this carrier is way out of position. And Boost is done, so I mean, all of these Skims could die. And if I said it was going to take a long time for MarchWaden to get back like matching the production of Moose, it's gonna take much longer if he loses any skims here. He's already lost one. Doesn't lose a second, but these salves are forfeit. There goes one, there goes two. And at this point, he can just kind of dive the carrier. I mean, he doesn't really care. Look how many LAVs he's got. This is crazy. Gets another skim. I mean, he's still trading efficiently against skims while he's under the carrier. You know, that's not a good look, right? Yeah, this looks very bad. Oh dear. LAV OP. Hey, Sikajin called it, man. Yeah, this is a horrible start for MarchWaden. And again, this is still match point, right? It's 2-1 is the scoreline here, so yeah, I would agree with what A-Game says. That's the thing though. MarchWaden's openers were good until like recently, you know. This is you know, he would pull off this really big greed, and I get that's what he's going for here, but carrier just totally flomping right there. It feels like on the execution side, he can't manage to do this. Yeah, well, like I said, it's even a good LDM map. So if you go for eco instead of aggro, it's actually less valuable on this map because, like, relatively speaking, because obviously you could have gotten more resources than normal just by LDMing. So like, right now, I mean, obviously Moose is ahead on eco. Oh my gosh, he's actually LDMing the third now. But even if he was just LDMing the main and MarchWaden had his PC fully saturated over here, he'd only be behind by a little bit. So getting any damage at all is almost worth it. There's the boost to just try and get out. These guys' health bars are getting pretty low here. But Sanskriver rating is done, so they might go down. But then again, there's another little bit of reinforcements coming in here. But it might be best at this point for Moose to kind of back away a little bit. That's what he's going to do. Just takes this hill over here. And damage 2 is done, by the way, so he does have the upgrade lead as well. Eventually, at one point, I wonder if he's going to actually dive a PC, but MarchWaden cannot make that same mistake again. If he does, this is probably over, right? But if he does, this is definitely over, where he moves the carrier too far, LAVs rotate back out to the main and just kill the salvagers, right? That can't happen again, so he needs to be really, really careful here. If he can get like a third PC up to produce, then maybe he'll be able to stabilize, but this doesn't look good. I mean, he needs a miracle, I guess. He needs Moose to take a bad trade. That's really what he's hanging in for. Even if Moose just left and did nothing else here, I feel like he's already ahead, you know? You need Moose to like lose all of his LAVs for nothing. And he might think that this is that moment, but again, it's damage 2 to nothing, and there's even a little bit of high ground that Moose catches on the way out too. Oh no. Still taking very good trades. Oh, the cruise missile's good though. Managed to finish off 3 kills right there, but this doesn't look good. This doesn't look good at all. I agree. Armor upgrade starting to come up too. He just casually checks the third. Oh yeah, because of your gimped graphics card. Feels bad, man. Don't you live in Russia? What are you thinking, Obama, for? Skims actually do find a good trade here. They've got a bit of high ground there. They don't want to go too far down though, and yeah, sure enough, he does back away. It's a nice use of the sand skimmers there. Well, I mean, how much of a turnaround has it got to be though to make up for the fact that he's been on 3 base this whole time? Fighter and gunship is started, by the way, so he's got his eyes on the prize here. Attack craft. I've never heard it called that before. Oh. Oh, nice shot. And he's not building... No, he is building one. Never mind. I was going to say, like, he is going to eventually start losing more and more numbers, but it's not really so. MarchWaden gets the armor upgrades, he'll be able to survive, like, a potential gunship follow-up, but otherwise I think that'd be a really, really good idea for Moose here. Well, it'd be a good idea even if he does. Because if these skims ever find themselves in the mid-ground, you know, okay, now the gunship can push you back. But still, he needs to be really careful he doesn't move this carrier too far out now. What he needs to do is stabilize, right? And, you know, opening up more air between your carrier and your bases, that's not stabilizing. That's making things more up in the air. He might feel like this is his only option, like he has to go for this all-in, but I don't know. Oh, he's moving so far out. Oh. Ouch. AV Fab started for Moose, but yeah, it's double gunship. He definitely agrees this is a win condition here. I think if he realizes what's going on, which is that MarchWaden really believes he's gonna take care of this with like a carrier all-in, he really wants to have Railgun Fab, I think. Railgun Fab and carrier power, that's usually what does it, but for now, the double gunship is going to launch here. This is going to be catastrophic damage. And the LEVs, they can take a couple losses to deny this base printer. I think it'd be a big deal, because this is obviously going to be a carrier power play. Solchid Fab coming off the queue, by the way. I think this is that the LEVs can't come back, but I feel like that's a bit of a weak tech here, because these are full ups, so... not easily going to be able to deal with that. A lot of air, like I said, open up between that carrier and the bases, and he finds the blob here, so he knows where it is with the gunships. And this will be big damage, of course, once he decides to actually target them. But for now, we're going to lose all the salvages off the base, so MarchWaden basically, he can't go back at this point. Like, the die have been cast here. He needs to just go with this strat and see if he can make it work. I would cancel this and just go for carrier power, because you're going to lose both the PCs here. Like, that's almost a guarantee. How much money has he got, actually? Oh, yeah, he needs to cancel this, because this could be used for, like, base runners, which would be big. Gunship almost goes... oh, the gunship does go down here, but... I think it did its job, though. It's not such a big problem to lose that. He is obviously going to kill all the strike craft there. He finishes AS tech, which is not good. But... oh, there's so many strike fighters. I didn't even look at this angle, but yeah, I mean, like, actually, he doesn't really need railguns if he can just kill him with strike fighters, right? Power's gonna tech then, so he can fill up the reactive armor. No, this has got to be over. I mean, there's no way. Look how close he is too. I mean, MarchWaden can't really do much in terms of like getting far away and using the missiles anyway. So the strike fighters are going to do a lot of damage here. LEVs will finish off the PCs. The real important thing is just make sure you catch this base runner, don't let him extract again. And he needs to bring the SCs over as well. Get the healing on that carrier. Because at this point, money is a little bit academic as well. Yeah, there goes the PC, there goes the base runner. That's power 2 done. He wants to power this up right away. Doesn't want to delay at all here. Okay, there we go, there it is. And then, yeah, bring these SCs over, because they're not going to do anything for you back at home. No, certainly not. MarchWaden has to go down here. Yeah, there it is. Actually, I mean, that did get pretty close, now that I think about it, but... yikes, man. That's crazy. Is that full wing? Oh, you do. Oh, no, there's one missing. It probably got killed by, like, the PC. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's why normally railguns are the pick when you realize that it's going to be like a carrier all-in. But definitely, this would be a little bit easier if the support cruisers came over, because once the all-in starts, you don't need any more income, right? You just need to focus on that, so... well, you say it's weak, but hey, it cleared this out. He had as much... no, he had more power than you and an artifact. I think that's fine. Anyway, at any rate, the Conniff players should lose when this is what happens. He does lose, so Moose not going to throw here. And that does give him the series, then, 3-1. A pretty hype one, indeed. That was cool. And that's the quarterfinals D finished now. Whoever wins that will go on to play me, probably, unless I get beaten by Sick IGN. Good luck with that. Or God 8 Sweeps, but I think God 8 Sweeps will probably also lose that match. But hopefully we'll have those casts ready to go pretty soon. That one had been delayed by a couple days, but we should be up and ready to go with those by the weekend, I think, is the plan. So I'll catch you guys then, but everything is script. Yeah, it's like freaking WWE. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.